Shopping centres could collapse. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I'm finishing up my morning stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article that was published a few days ago from the ABC regarding shopping centre landlords and the potential for some of these centres to go under, or these landlords to really suffer a lot of pain. Now, I've done a few videos recently where I've been looking at shopping centres. One I did down the Gold Coast was just a walkthrough. You can see there with my fantastic hairstyle and beard. Oh, no, you can't because I'm covering it. Okay, hang on. Wait, there we go. Where I've walked through the centre and I noticed when I was going through there, I noticed all of these hidden spaces, these tenancies that were blocked in, that were converted to seating areas or to book areas and places that were used. I'll link to this in the card, or you can find it on my channel just to see what's happening to some of these areas. I had viewers send me photos of shops up north which are just dead, completely dead, quiet, where they try to make it look busy. And this is another sector that people have been investing too. So let's have a look, guys. We've heard about, the property investors in housing. They're going to be the biggest sufferers from this pandemic. And now apparently we're going to have shopping center landlords as well. So let's have a look. When the dust settles on the pandemic, there will be winners and there will be losers. Retail landlords are shaping up to be among the biggest losers. Everybody else has felt that this is a groundbreaking time. We have to behave differently, do things differently, change your business model. Retail strategist Nancy Georges told the ABC. Landlords are not doing that. Sydney jewelers Charles and Fadia Nasser are a case in point. We don't seem like we are very important to our landlord, he said. It's just numbers to them. Well, yes, that's it. That's it. The real estate investment trusts invest in these centres, and they've just been able to constantly put the rent up every year. Force people to do fit outs. Retail's a challenging environment to be in, guys. It really is. They want to do whatever they want to, pay those nice monthly dividends. I think the model's going to have to change. I don't know if it's going to be as lucrative for these landlords as it was in the past. With the pandemic smashing their turnover by 80%, they've been pleading for a reduction in rent, a request so far that has fallen on deaf ears. Even with the climate being as bad as it is, they just keep hiking the rents up, she said. It is a story thousands of small shop owners can relate to. But with online sales surging in a locked down world, it is also a story many landlords may live to regret. Well, yes, these investments are going to see a revaluation. They're going to have to see that. There are going to be many people that'll just go, no, pull up stumps, walk away. I mean, it's jewelry, guys. You can get that online, can't you? What's the difference? A lot of retailers who have great shops will actually decide now, you know what? I'm going to ride out the pandemic wave of online only. I'm going to shut my shop and I'm going to go away. I can see that happening. Because it costs a lot to have, pay for your rent, power, staff. That's going to have a flow-on effect to the economy. There are going to be a lot of small business owners which give people their first opportunity that are going to disappear. So the pandemic prompts retailers to fight back. The rise of American-style shopping malls has given the owners of those malls enormous power over retailers, and they've wielded that power ruthlessly. High rents and big increases in that rent every year, regardless of trading conditions, have become the norm. But the decimation caused by the pandemic has given shops a chance to fight back, and some are seizing that moment. None more so than Solomon Lew's Premier Investments, which closed its 1,250 fashion and stationery stores in late March and announced it would stop paying rent. Fighting back. Well, they're breaking their contract, guys. But then again, could the state-forced shutdown be considered a natural disaster? That's one for the lawyers to find out, isn't it? Mr. Liu has thrown down the gauntlet, agreeing to pay rent in arrears, but only as a percentage of sales. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Solomon Liu's been on this bandwagon for about 2 or 3 years, that to maintain profitability he needs to have reasonable rent payments, retail analyst Bill Mooney said. Premier's hardline stance brought a hardline response from shopping centre owner Stockland, which has warned commercial leases are legally binding contracts. That may be true, but Mr. Mooney said it was a double-edged sword. With a lease agreement, there's an expectation of a certain amount of customers coming through into the shopping mall, and if that nexus is broken, then yes, the landlord can insist on his rights. But which retailer is going to continue to pay rent and go broke, he said. Well, they're going to have to declare bankruptcy. We're going to start seeing a lot of these retailers take a hit. I mean, and is this the smartest move on Stockland's part? Potentially, well, Stockland are getting out of these centres. They're already divested 500 billion. They're looking at shifting another 500 billion out of them. So maybe they don't care. Or maybe they just want to prop it up for as long as they can to flog them off. And we'll see what happens. Like in Australia's fair, these depressing, empty centres with all these hoarded up businesses everywhere. And this is before the pandemic. Oh, I'm getting an ad for that housing spruiker. This is before the pandemic occurred, guys. This was happening. So, as the rental rows deepen, landlords fear the Premier revolt could catch on. The increasing number of big retailers closing or downsizing stores such as Myer, David Jones, Big W Target, Athlete's Foot, Black Pepper, and Marco Polo attest to the fact that increasingly tenants have had enough. Target's shutting down and converting a whole lot of stores. So a stream of new shops are drying up. What has traditionally given landlords their power over tenants was an endless stream of new shops willing to take their place. But according to Miss Georges, in the reshaped post-pandemic retail environment, the pipeline of potential tenants may disappear. Retail is not an attractive industry at the moment, she said. Well, no, it certainly isn't. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people are hearing how bad and hard it is. They're seeing their cafes come out and say, please support us. They're seeing their local shops close. They're seeing shopping centres totally close. Would they have faith to invest and take that chance? I don't think so. Which, if Miss Georges is right, means landlords who continue to play hardball with their tenants face the prospect of empty shops generating no income. And that's what needs to happen, guys. That's the market responding. That's them learning a hard lesson. Mr. Mooney goes even further. He believes rents need to fall by up to 50% for retailers to survive the next 12 months. Against that backdrop, it is no surprise investors in shopping centres have started to have doubts. The unit price of pure-play retailers like Centre Group and Vicinity have more than halved in the last few years as their profits have fallen. Jeweller Charles Nassar is hoping the storm clouds hanging over the retailer sector may lead to a change of heart from landlords. One day it's going to come when the landlords have to feel differently about tenants, he said. For smart landlords, that day has probably arrived. In response to the ABC's inquiries, Charles and Fadiq Nassar's landlord, Malpoa, has offered them rent relief backdated to the start of the pandemic, which he said is in line with government legislation. Well, there you go. There you go. So, they're responding. They're responding to it. I mean, you've got to think, guys. You've got to think. If you're a landlord, you want to keep your occupancy rates high. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot. Your asset will get devalued significantly if your vacancy rates creep up too high. That's more important in the long term than a 6-month rent hit. Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't that make sense? Or is it just the fact that you've got these organizations that are so big, they don't see they don't appreciate the implications of what they're going to do by hitting the small guys. Or maybe they'll get the reduction and they'll still go, nah, stuff it. Time to cut back. Let's save money. The stress isn't worth it. What do you reckon, everyone? Where do you think? Are you heading out? Are you investing in the retail sector? How are you finding, your investments in the markets? Or do you have a favorite shop that you go to that's just struggling? It's the tough game, guys. And jewelry, that'll be bloody hard. Particularly now. That's going to take a hit. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you'd like to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel here on YouTube. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time.